What's up guys, you're back with TechNick, and today I have a speed test between the Realme X2 Pro and the iPhone 11 Pro Max. The Realme comes paired with 8 gigs of RAM, the version that I have anyway, and a Snapdragon 855 Plus processing chip which is run on 7nm technology. It is an octa-core chipset, and the iPhone 11 Pro Max has a hexa-core A13 Bionic chip which is run on 7nm plus chipset technology. With that 4 gigs of RAM, things should be a bit slower, but iPhone's optimizations are really awesome. Then I have also turned off the animations on the Realme, though I have kept the window animation to 0.5 times, since we do have a bit of a window animation when turning off animations on the iPhone. We also have a 90Hz panel on the Realme, which I have left at 90Hz since we're going to bring these guns to the knife fight, and I've also enabled high performance mode. We're going to be using my trained little fingers over here, so keep things as even as possible. I'll be popping my GoPro footage at the bottom left hand corner of the screen, so keep your eyes out on that as we go along. These are both incredible phones to say the least, and without further ado guys, let's go! So guys, we're going to start here on round 1, which is booting up the phones to see which one boots up faster. I have sped this up a little bit to see who wins, and we got the Realme getting the first points in round 1. Now we're going to see which refreshes the app icons as soon as going into the phone, and the Realme takes the second point in round 1. Now we don't have fingerprint sensors here, but we do have Face ID on both of them, though the iPhone uses 3D face unlock. And how we're doing this is that I have turned off the instant unlock on the Realme, and we're just watching the little unlock icons at the bottom of the Realme and at the top of the iPhone 11 Pro Max, and the Realme has gotten every single lead there, giving it a third point in round 1 when it comes to Face ID. We have gone ahead and cleared all our apps, and we're going to go from camera all the way down to PUBG for round 2, and for round 3 PUBG all the way back up to camera to test out RAM speed. Now we're going to go into camera, which is our first app, and the Realme X2 Pro takes it. If you guys haven't noticed what is on the screen right now, every time a phone gets allocated a point, I have put a check mark underneath the branding of the phone at the top left or the top right of the phone respectively. I've also highlighted the round that we are on each side of the device, and at the bottom right hand corner I have put a little timer on how long each round does take. At the bottom left we do have the GoPro footage to see how good my fingers are and how accurate they are, and I have taken this into account. I've also slowed the footage down 3, 4, 5 times to make sure that I am allocating the points correctly. This test is no joke. I do take my time working through it to make sure that an even score is actually given. So far the Realme is doing really well with double the points in round 2 as opposed to the iPhone 11 Pro Max, and in round 1 it absolutely trashed it, leaving the iPhone with no points at all. Now we're going to go ahead, the first time I'm ever doing in a speed test is an actual Wi-Fi speed test, checking out the Wi-Fi, and though the Realme did take the speed there, it also took the fastest speed when using Wi-Fi and bandwidth connection. Now going into Spotify, the Realme took it again, but now the iPhone is only 2 points behind the Realme X2 Pro. Now the iPhone is catching up, only 1 point behind when we're opening up Photoshop over here, and they both open up the picture that we had pretty similarly there. Now we're going to go ahead and export the picture over here, and you'll notice that on the Realme side, the refreshing icon disappears quicker than the iPhone says your photo has been saved to camera roll. So it got a point over there, making it 2 points ahead of the iPhone 11 Pro Max so far. Now guys, remember the Realme is pretty much a $400 phone, and the iPhone is a $1,100 phone. That is the starting price for both the 64 gig starting variants of the phones, and rupees wise you can pretty much buy 4 of the Realme X2 Pros for one of the iPhone 11 Pro Max. And that is why I'm doing a performance test over here. So the iPhone went into the picture there, the video in Adobe Rush over here. I'm not using Premiere Pro on the phones anymore since Adobe have now opted for Premiere Rush on Android and iOS, and we will be outputting at a resolution of 4K and 25 frames per second. So going through here, I fast forwarded the clip by 600 times the speed, and we did it in 23 seconds on an iPhone, but only a minute and 21 seconds on the Realme. That is ridiculously slow. I did speed up the test, so it did take a lot longer. I didn't want to keep you guys here all day, but that UFS 3.0 storage that I have on the Realme, I thought would outshine the OnePlus's, the iPhone 11 Pro Max's SSD in it, but it didn't do that, and the 128 gig version of the Realme does indeed come paired with UFS 3.0 storage and that wonderful Snapdragon 855 Plus processing chip. Now talking about the processing chips, the iPhone 11 Pro Max does have an A13 Bionic chip, and it is only running a hexa-core chipset, so only 6 cores, where with the Realme we actually have 8. It is an octa-core processing chip, and the clock speeds on the Realme are actually a lot higher on the Snapdragon 855 Plus processing chip as well. The difference here is not only that the RAM is double on the Realme, the version that I have of 8 gig compared to the iPhone's 4 gig standard, you can't change that at all, but the biggest difference here with iPhone is that it has really great optimization in its device. And for the first time with the new iOS 13, we can remove animations, which is really cool, but it actually opts for more of a crossfade instead of a zoomed in animation look. So though we are removing animations, we do have a bit of a fade when opening and closing an app, especially when closing an app, and that is why I left the window scale on the Realme to 0.05. I have played around with this a lot to get them as even as possible, and that seems to be the best way. It would be really unfair to keep the animations on full force on both of the devices since they are so different, and we are testing out performance here, guys. Many of you have asked why I don't keep the animations on, and that is because we are testing out performance, not necessarily how quick the animations are. And if you ask me, things are always better with no animations if you are that speed of light kind of guy. Now we are sitting at double points on the Realme X2 Pro in round 2, 20 points as opposed to 10 on the iPhone 11 Pro Max. I cannot believe my eyes here, guys. This phone on the left hand side is a fraction of the price of the iPhone, and yes, the iPhone has been my daily driver for a few weeks now, and I have been enjoying it. I really do miss Android phones, especially with the likes of the Realme X2 Pro, which does a better job in many things compared to the iPhone for a fraction of the price. Now going into our next game over there, we hit another point for the Realme, and the last game, the one that matters most to all of you guys, is PUBG Mobile. Now we do have Call of Duty Mobile as well. Let me know if you guys would like me to replace this or add it to the speed test in my upcoming speed tests in the coming weeks. So make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button for more tests like this, as well as camera reviews, smartphone reviews, unboxings, so on and so forth. And if you haven't checked my content out on these two monsters of phones, be sure to head over to my channel right after this video to check what else I have going for it, including charge speed tests and tutu runs, and so the list goes on. Now the iPhone grabbed that last point with PUBG going in, and for some of you that is the main thing that matters. Now we're going to go back into round 3 over here, and the iPhone snatches the first point, reopening PUBG over there. Now this isn't so much about RAM management to see how many apps are being held in the background of the phone. This is more about how quick the phone reopens the apps since we already have them open. So far the Realme has now passed the iPhone 11 Pro Max in reopening apps. Going back in round 3 over here and going into Subway Surfers, things don't change. We have 3 points in round 3 for the Realme and 1 point for the 11 Pro Max. Now we're going to jump into Google Chrome over here, and it was pretty similar over there, though I did slow the clip down a lot and the Realme definitely took the points. If it is an even score, I do give it tie, and I do put checkboxes underneath both brandings, and you guys will see it very soon. It happened once in round 2 in case you missed that. Now we have 6 points on the Realme X2 Pro, and as you guys can see, the iPhone 11 Pro Max opened up Twitter a little bit faster there. Going into Instagram over here, the Realme X2 Pro took it, and the next app that we have coming up is indeed Facebook. So opening up Facebook over here, we have the Realme taking that again. No surprise here if you ask me, guys. The Realme is doing a fabulous job, especially for this price point, and the Realme went ahead and opened Astral quicker, but it was a tie when turning off Astral. Opening up Adobe Premiere Rush over here, the Realme actually kept it open, and the iPhone 11 Pro Max killed it. I guess it does keep quite a bit of RAM in the background, and we only have 4 gigs of RAM on the iPhone. So going into Photoshop Express over here, the Realme actually kept the exact position that we were in, and the iPhone went back into editing options of the photo. Going into Spotify, surprisingly, the Realme X2 Pro closed the app, and the iPhone 11 Pro Max kept it running in the background even with half the RAM. Going into the speed test, things were pretty similar over there, though the iPhone took it because it seems like the X2 Pro had a bit of a stutter going into it, but it did keep the app open. Opening up settings, we had the X2 Pro go for it, and then going into phone over here, you guys can see that it was another tie, since we have those checkboxes under both the brandings. Going into calculator over here, we have the Realme taking it with 15 points from that 6 points in the iPhone 11 Pro Max. I can't believe it's going 10 points ahead of the iPhone. And our last app over here is indeed the camera, and we have a tie over here, making the Realme 10 points ahead in round 3 here now, as well as round 2 with 10 points ahead there too. Now guys, looking at the final results that we have over here, we have a total of 41 points for the Realme X2 Pro and 18 for the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Double the performance on a phone that cost a quarter of the price of the phone on the right. They're both absolutely awesome phones, and I must say the optimizations on iPhone are really pleasing. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video, because I really did enjoy making it, and I was really interested to see how these phones stack up against each other, since they are from 2 completely different worlds. As I said, I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time guys, this is TechNick.